Uh, so let's go ahead and start. Actually, since this is Lamb and it's a seminary, do you mind if we start with a word of prayer?
Certainly, let's do that.
Okay, you want to lead us, please, brother?
God, we just thank you for this time we have, God, to sharpen our axe and our skills, Father. And thank you for Brother Gage and his expertise and wisdom in teaching this class. God, I pray that we might use it to the glory
Yes.
of the name of Christ and all that we do. Lord, if you'd bless our time together today, help me to learn and those others who may be joining us. God, help our minds to be receptive to a new language. And Father, that we might reach some lost souls with the gospel of Christ. And we just ask in Christ's name, amen.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm going to, uh, let me see. I want to get off of my, I'm going to share the screen for a few moments, and I'm going to do a little writing. But as I do, I want to first let me ask you this question. All right, what do we use to speak a language, or what do we, what do we speak a language?
I guess our mouth or our brain.
Yeah, it's here. Let me share this here if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Share the screen. You should be able to see my screen here in a minute. And we're still learning how to run this thing here.
Okay.
So, okay, is that a full screen for you? Or at least you may be able to see me. I don't know if you can or can't.
Yes.
Because all
I
I can
can
do is see this whole screen. So if
I can see you. I can see you in a little tiny screen, and then the full screen is a whiteboard. Looks like a whiteboard.
All right, good. That's what I want. And I'm going to this actually say this is not a well, that guy, wow, poor guy. I got his let me get rid of his. It looks like this fellow has a black eye there. I mean, so okay. This here is and this here would be like a table. And do we speak, a lot of people say, well, we speak with the eyes, and over here, this is the ear, and this is your, whatever you call those things. This is a tongue. And actually, all of these are just simply muscles or mechanics that while we use all of these things, we hear the sounds coming in, and it'll say like Ola. The sound comes in, but that sound goes up. Actually, we speak with this right here. It's the mind, and so anything that comes in goes up, and it comes out. These are actually muscles that are in your sound, and these vibration things. But this is what we speak with this. And while if you see this, we see the opera, but the spoken language comes in through the sound. Everything that we do comes in through the sound that you speak. So let's say, for an example, even when you read, and you're reading in a book, and in the book it says, it has this. All right, we convert even symbols to sounds. So that is an A in English. In Spanish, it's ah. So it's always ah. One of the advantages that we have in Spanish is that everything, our vowels are always the same. They never change. A is always ah, and E is always A, and I is always E. I mean, so you're able to actually read, but we're working strictly on this movement right here. because so I'm not going to work so much with the grammar. What I want you to do and what we will be focusing on is training the ear to hear the sounds, and then whatever the sounds that you hear is what we want you to be able to reproduce. Now, it's kind of like when you let's suppose that you're working with a radio, and you know, the old time radios, and you're trying to tune in the station. All right, what happens is that you are now going to be hearing sounds that come in. The mind hears them, and so we're not working as much. The phonetics will actually come as you adjust your mind and the rhythm to the sound. All of that sounds complicated, but actually we are not going to really teach you Spanish as much as I want to teach you how to think in the language. Don't translate. We're not going to do any translating. Maybe a little bit to help you with at the beginning, but most of the language will be just spoken. Now, whenever we whenever I whenever we let me give you a new one here. Whenever I teach a lesson, let's say if I teach a lesson right now, and well, first of all, let me start this way. Here we are, and this here is a river, and over here you are in this boat, and the current is English. And English, you're actually you're going against the grain, in other words, against the current. So what happens is there are actually basically two ways to learn a language. One is, you know, I'm a Texan, and if a person didn't know how to swim, we would throw him into a swimming pool, and that person would either swim or drown. Well, we're not going to let the person drown, but what we do, he doesn't know that, so we start, you know, reach out, you know, and dog paddle, and then the first thing you know, they're swimming. Well, if I were to take you or bring you here to Colombia or Latin America, and when you arrive here, all right, you are saturated, you are completely in the language, and so the mind is obligated to produce or to function in a language just for survival. And so you begin to make yourself, your mind produces, I don't know how to say that even in English, say obliga, it obligates itself to learn. So, but the problem is you're not here. So that condition doesn't exist. What happens is we are in the States, or you're in the States, your mind is going to be going against the current. And so here you are in Spanish, and you're trying to row your boat against the Spanish. So what you have to do, it's the consistency. It's not one lesson, it's not two lessons, it's a process. And so this process, it is important that every day your mind needs to be functioning at least for a small period of time in the language. So actually you need, let me show you this here. I don't know this. Let's say this here is a period of 72 hours, we'll say. All right, if I teach, I'm going to teach this class today, okay? And this is 24 hours, and here over here is 24 hours, and here's another 24 hours. If I were to give you, I teach the class today, and at the end of 72 hours, I give you an exam. And And you don't see the class or listen or do anything with that class for that 72 hours, and you just take the exam, how much would you be able to remember of the class that was taught back over here?
Probably not a whole lot.
Exactly, it really isn't. Well, actually, most people, you're very good if you can actually remember 20%.
Wow.
I mean, it's really very poor. But this is a uh, a learning process. You learn how to learn. And what happens is, if you, in this period of time, this 24 hours, if you will take anywhere from 5 minutes to, well, 15 is better, but let's say 5 to 10 minutes during that period of time, and just review what you study. And over here, you do the same thing, 5 to 10 minutes. You're this here, repassing this one here. And over here, you review 5 minutes. Now this, at that end of period of time, just investing that short amount of, you know that this percentage of reception or retention is going to go up. So do you have any idea how much?
No, 50% maybe. I don't know.
Higher. It'll actually go up to 80%.
Wow.
So see, if that's why whenever, if you are in a class or seminary or a university class, anything other than mathematics, this is a process, it's a learning structure, the way. So if every day, since you're in this river, you're going against the grain, what you have to do, and this is what you really need to do, is every day you need to at least make your mind, don't force your mind, don't ever force your mind, but make your mind function at least 5 to 10 minutes in the language, and try to look over your notes, and look over your notes here and your notes there. And this here, then your retention is going to go up. So what happens, we start moving our knowledge, our movement, just slow but slow. You don't have to memorize anything, you're just gradually moving. And when you, first thing you know, you're in the language. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Now it's kind of like if you're here in this mountain and you've got your car and you're pushing your car up the mountain. I'm not a very good artist, as you may have already figured out by now. But here you're pushing your car up the mountain. And if you stop during that period of time and you don't block the wheels, what happens to your car? It goes down.
Goes back.
And even so, here's what happens. Once we start this process, you want to be able to continue to work with the mind. Otherwise, if you stop, we need to block the wheels, at least the process, so that we're not going to lose. So then whenever you get some strength, or you take the classes again, somebody comes to help you push up, well, then you don't lose. You may be a little bit of force, but then in just a very couple of days, you're right back to where you were before. So those are the different processes that you have to go through that are very, very important as far as your learning. The other is that this is what happens if you have in 72 hours. So this is very important that you do this and you work with that in that way. Let me get rid of this thing here. So what we are planning to do is we're going to well, let me get out of this. How do I get out of this thing? I'm still learning how to work there. Stop share. Okay, so all of that, I've said all of that so that we can start actually the process. So what you need to do, though, before, since since you need to make a contract with yourself, and if you have to, you say that I am going to learn to speak English or Spanish. And because that, you have to, if you do not have the desire to achieve that purpose, you're going to lose your time and your effort, and you're not going to achieve what you need. But you need to just simply write yourself a a contract and sign it and date it that I am going to do what I can do to learn the language. And you make that commitment with yourself and sign it. And actually, that is one of the only obligations that I have. I will not teach anybody that do not want to learn. And I don't, I've saw that in you from way back that you really want to, and you seem,
Yes.
and so that's, but you still have to make that honest commitment with yourself. It's with you and not with me, because it's all I can do is just guide you. I can help you and teach you and work with you. And now actually in the States, if I were a missionary up there right now, what I would do the same thing that I'm doing with you, except I would teach English to the Spanish
Right.
speaking people. And I think if you learn this system, just use I'll use the same system that I use to teach these people down here Spanish or English. I'm going to use that with you. Now you're going to be kind of the guinea pig, because I have done this before, but I haven't really. The only one that we started with was Darren, and that was way back when he first came down. And since we're recording this, we never finished the classes actually, because he went to Ecuador and then he came back. And so we only had that period of short time. So you have to finish the process. Once your mind gets into Spanish and it's thinking in Spanish, then we get into the grammar, and then we start working with some structures and things. Right now, I don't care if you say, this is a book or that's a book. Eso es un libro or esto es un libro. A mí no me importa. I don't care. I want you to just to listen and learn and make me understand in Spanish. Okay? All right. Arriba, arriba, arriba. Yeah. And so I like Speedy Gonzalez anyway. I don't know if Ronnie. Okay, so I'm going to start with just some very simple exercises. First of all, you have to. We're starting with the ear and training the ear so that the ear begins to hear the melody. But don't. I know the mind will want to translate, but just don't let the mind translate.
Right.
So don't force the mind. Don't obligate the mind. When I first started learning Spanish, I had a problem with cuchillo, cuchara, y tenedor. That's spoon, knife, and fork.
Yes.
And I told myself, I can't remember that. I can't remember that. I can't remember that. And here I am 50 years later, and guess what? I still have to physically think, is this a cuchara or cuchillo? See, why? Because, if you tell yourself you can't, you put up a mental block there, and that's what we don't want. So you never force the mind. And whenever your mind, once you have a bunch of, do you know anything about computers a little bit?
Sure.
All right. When you are typing something and you're saving, the words are going into different places all over your hard drive. And it's kind of like the old, disk. Well, your computer remembers and knows exactly where those fragments are at and puts it together into one file. But when you defragment. You know what a defragmentation is? When you defragment
Yes.
your computer, what you are doing, you are taking all of these things all over the place and you're putting that file together in one place so that your computer can quickly go to that one place. It doesn't have to go all over it, unless you're talking about milliseconds, but it can go to that one place. And all this sounds crazy, but that's actually what happens in your mind. That's what we're going to do. We're going to defragment your brain in Spanish. Because number one, here, you have right now, here, let me get back over here to this. If you can understand kind of where you are in your language, it'll help you to understand what I'm trying to achieve. See, because, oh, wow. All right, whenever, I'm just trying to think how I want to say this. All right, here. Oh, okay, wrong one. That's my eraser. I want a pencil. Okay, you have in your mind, you have a processor up there that's called languages, alien or idiomas. All right, idiomas. The point is that under that you have your main processor, which in this case for you is English. Where do you have Spanish in your mind? Normally, however, you haven't had a bad teacher. If things go south, it'll be my fault. But the point is, most teachers or most students, even if and this is what we're going to, you have processed and you have placed the Spanish under English. So what your mind has to do, you see over here, you'll see this here, and this here is mesa. So you hear the word mesa, your mind goes up here to English. Mesa is table, and it brings it back here. Mesa, table, table, mesa, and comes out. So what you're doing is, this is the process that your mind has been doing, see?
Yes.
So you can't, we're not going to undo any of this. We're not going to, that'll maybe not damage, but we don't want to take away anything. What I'm going to do with this class, like I say, this may sound really super stupid, but what we're going to do, we're going to open up a new file in your brain, Spanish. We'll call it Spanish 1 or something. And you have all of this stuff down here that you've already learned. We're going to copy and we're going to paste. And you have all of this here in English that I can use. So you don't have to relearn or reinvent the wheel. So we're going to use what you already have in your mind that's in English that I can use. And I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to stick it there. Like everything that ends in ly in English, that's an adverb. All right. In Spanish, you can take that same word in English with the ly and put mente on there. And it's the same word, like rapid. Rapid, rapidly, or rapidamente means rapidly. It's an adverb. So that you don't have to relearn that. It's just like everything that ends in your suffix of tion. It's the same in English. I mean, in Spanish, it's cion. You stick a little tilde over the top. So these are things that you already have in another language that we can apply them. I don't know if that's right in English, but you can apply them in this new file that we're going to put. So then once you get all of these words up here, you're going to start to move your thinking in this little file right over here. Okay? So whenever you find a word that you don't know, what are you going to do? So, you know, like most people, they say, well, they go all the way back and they say, well, so you go to a dictionary. Well, most people don't go to a dictionary. So what you do, your mind will try to figure out by the context of what it is. So if you don't know a word and then you can describe the thought or describe the word so that the other person that's listening to your conversation in Spanish, they will be your walking dictionary, you know, when you start speaking. So they will understand what you're trying to say, and immediately by the way, your Latin Americans, when they see that you are making the effort to speak their language with them on their deal, and they see that you're a gringo, actually it goes a long way. They will appreciate you for it. And your biggest problem is going to be overcoming the fear of the people up there that are having their difficulties, because right now there's a political situation and they don't trust us. But that's when you can use me. You know, you're talking to someone here. Let me let you talk to my friend, and I'll get me and Carmenza or someone else on here, and we will be your what do you call, like your approval kind of. So it works that way. I use Carmenza all the time to give me anyway. Okay, so well, I've managed to blow one complete 30 minutes on that. So, but it's important that you understand how I want to try to achieve this process. Okay, so that's my whole object, and we don't force the mind. But whenever I'm going to start the way I teach in just a second, and you will see then it's a little bit different, but just understand and let your mind. God gave us a great mind. Just let Him let you use it, and you will understand. I think you will understand in Spanish without translating what I have to say. I hope. At least that's what we want to start. So we'll start very simple, and then we will build on that. But just don't get in any hurry. This is a process. It takes time. It's just like muscles. Every day we're going to get it a little bit. And then first thing you know, you're in the language. And then we will just go from there. Okay? All right. Here we go. So let me start with something here. We're going to start with kind of a warm-up. So, ahora sí voy a empezar a hablar en español. Esto, ok, mesa. Entonces, eso es un libro. Let's see. Eso es un lápiz. Eso es una silla. ¿Y qué más hacemos este? Es un bolígrafo. Entonces, all right, so repeat with me. This is mesa.
Mesa.
Libro.
Libro.
Is lápiz.
Lápiz.
Lápiz. Silla.
Silla.
Bolígrafo.
Bolígrafo.
All right, so eso es una mesa. Eso es una mesa. All right, repeat.
Eso es una mesa.
Eso es un libro.
Eso es un libro.
Eso es un lápiz.
Eso es un lápiz.
Eso es una silla.
Eso es una silla.
Eso es un bolígrafo.
Eso es un bolígrafo.
Okay. So, muy bien. So, if I ask you, all right, ¿qué es eso? I am actually saying, ¿qué es eso? Or esto. All right. So, yo pregunto, ¿qué es esto? What is this? So, you would say, esto es una mesa. ¿Qué es esto? Esto es un libro. ¿Qué es esto? Esto es una lápiz o un lápiz. ¿Qué es esto? Esto es un silla. ¿Qué es esto? Eso es un bolígrafo. All right. ¿Qué es esto? Answer.
Esto es una mesa.
Este es una mesa. Este es un libro. ¿Qué es esto? All right.
If you're pointing, I can't tell.
Oh, you can't. Is this one here?
No. Okay. Okay. Oh, I saw you circled. Okay. Esto es un libro.
Oh, okay. ¿Y este? ¿Qué es esto?
Esto es una mesa.
¿Y esto? ¿Qué es eso?
Esto es un silla.
Sí, una
Una
silla.
silla.
Yeah. ¿Y qué es esto?
Esto es un bolígrafo.
¿Y esto?
Esto es un lápiz.
All right, muy bien. Okay, fine. All right, so, all right, eso sí es para calentar. Ahora vamos a empezar con una historia. Una historia de, eso es María y Juan. Ok. Upa. O sea que eso es una historia de María y Juan. Entonces, eso all right, eso es María. Ok. Y eso es Juan. So, María y Juan. María y Juan están, están casados. Right. ¿Usted entiende qué es casado? Do you understand this word?
No entiendo.
No entiende. Ok, muy bien. Casados, pam, pam, param, pam.
Sí.
All right. O sea que Juan es el esposo y María es esposa. Ellos, María y Juan, ellos están casados. Pam, pam, param. Sí, ellos están casados. Y ellos están, sujeto, verbo, complemento, ellos están felices. Feliz. Feliz es una, sí, feliz. Ellos, aquí, eso es una casa. Eso es una casa. Esta casa All right, tiene is it has. All right, ese casa, este casa, or esto. See, esto, ese, and those are words that'll just mess you up, you know. So anything
Right.
that comes out is all right for right now. It isn't really okay, but I mean, you know, but I mean, I just want you to see, uh, ese es, uh, esta, ese. Well, now I'm confused. Uh, esa. Oh, here we go. Esa casa. Esa casa. Tiene ventanas. Eso es un ventana. Tiene. Esa casa tiene un, un puerto. Tiene una. Este es femenina. Sí. Y ahí sí, puerto es masculina. Entonces, ese sí es problemas para nosotros, pero all right, ellos tienen, ellos viven, ellos viven en una casa. ¿Se conoce esta palabra? Do you know that word?
Sí. Live.
Yeah, okay. So ellos viven en una casa. La casa donde ellos viven, la casa donde ellos viven está en el campo. ¿Entiende esta palabra? Campo. Campo es, aquí es una, este es una pueblo, ese es un pueblo, y ellos, la casa, o pueblo, o ciudad es como grande, como Bogotá. Bogotá es grande, pueblo es pequeña. Ellos ellos no viven en el pueblo. Ellos viven en el campo. Entonces, pero ellos están felices. All right. Your turn. Tell me what you understand. Don't read it. Try to just in your mind tell me what you think, what you can remember. All right, let me get out of here. Okay. You're on the air.
Okay. En español.
Claro, this is in Spanish in class. This is a Spanish.
Okay. Maria y Juan viven en una casa con venturas y puerto.
Yeah.
Ah,
Tiene ventanas, sí, muerto, o puerto. Muerto es, no es puerto. Yeah. Wrong word.
viven en un
All right.
ciudad con
Ellos viven en una ciudad. Or no?
No me. No pueblo.
All right.
No me acuerdo.
Muy bien. Ellos no viven en el pueblo. Sí, ellos no viven en el pueblo. Ellos viven en el campo. O sea,
Campo.
el campo es donde ellos viven. Y ¿están ellos casados o no están casados?
Sí, están cansados.
¿Y cómo se llama el esposo de María?
El esposo de María es Juan.
Muy bien. ¿Y cómo se llama la esposa de Juan?
La esposa de Juan es María.
María. ¿Están felices?
Sí, están felices.
Ellos están felices. La casa donde vive ellos está grande o pequeña.
Pequeña.
Pequeña, sí, pues es pequeña. All right, pero ellos sí viven en el campo, no viven en la ciudad. Ellos están casados, pero ellos están felices. Bien, muy bien. Okay, excelente. All right, here we go. This is chapter 2. We're moving right along. Well, so you don't have to spend all day. This is a telenovela. Okay, let me get over here where I get. Okay, let me borrar or I'll save that so that I know that it's just something that you just are dying to get. So let me find where I'm going to picture. Let me put it over here where we'll put it up on the internet anyway somewhere where you can go back if I can find where I'm putting it. Well, let me just. Well, I can't find. I can't find where I want to put it. There it is, desktop. Ah, good. And should be in here some stories. Jim Spanish via Lamb. Good. There we go. So that's sketch 26. Good. Now let's turn this thing off. Okay. So let me go back. So here, Okay. Entonces, eso es la casa, eso es, ¿quién es este? Eso es quién? Este es María. Y esto, ¿quién es esto? Eso es Juan. Y ellos están casados, casados. Están casados, están felices. Felices. Ellos, aquí es la casa, ellos viven en una casa. Ahora, este es una carretera, ¿ok? Carretera. Y por aquí, eso es el pueblo. ¿Ok? Bueno, aquí eso es la segunda parte. Entonces, María y Juan, ellos viven en la casa, viven en el campo, están felices, están casados, pero that's but. La mente va en una dirección, la idea, pero vuelve a lo otro. Pero ellos, es que eso no quiere funcionar. Ellos tienen perdón, that's masculine, un problema. Yeah, all of your Greek origin words, problema, that's Greek, it's masculine. I almost messed up there, so it's un problema. Ellos tienen un problema. Okay. Aquí, eso es el problema. All right. El problema es, aquí, este es Juan. Cada sábado, okay, these are two words. Cada sábado a las 3 en la tarde, okay. All right, es Juan cada sábado a las 3 en la tarde, ¿cómo? Juan va, all right, it's subject, verb, complement. Juan va al pueblo. Okay. Now, so aquí está Juan, son 3 en la tarde, okay. Aquí está 3. Y aquí está Juan, aquí es el pueblo, etc. Aquí está Juan. All right, aquí está. Whenever I teach this in the university, I teach it. It's called values. I teach values. And everyone has a tendency to judge themselves by the values that they have, you know, and they think according to their own values. And at any rate, this is a story, and it's I don't know, it works all right down here. You may not be familiar with this kind of custom, so I don't know if it's going to work up there, but anyway. So, cada sábado a las 3 en la tarde, Juan va al pueblo. Y Juan, este es cerveza. Cerveza. You know what that is?
Sí.
Okay. So this is cerveza. Y Juan bebe or toma. You can use either word. Toma. Cerveza. Am I off the canvas there? Cerveza.
No, I can see it.
All right, so Juan bebe cerveza. Él toma cerveza con sus amigos. Esos son amigos. Amigos. Entonces, Juan ahí sí está, y él se toma cerveza con sus amigos. María está aquí en casa. María está en casa. En la casa, puede ser. Entonces, María está en la casa. Juan está en el pueblo. Juan está en el pueblo. Juan no está en la casa. Juan está en el pueblo. Juan está en el pueblo bebiendo. Bebiendo. That's progressive. He is drinking. Él está tomando o bebiendo con sus amigos en el pueblo. Y no está en casa. Eso es en la tarde. Now, eso es sábado por la noche. Sábado. Sábado. Sábado por la noche. Now, Juan no regresa a casa. Juan no regresa a su casa. It's possessive, his house. Juan no regresa a su casa. Sábado por la noche. Él no regresa. Juan permanece. Juan queda. Quedar is to stay. You don't have to remember all of these words. I mean, they're probably new. Pero Juan queda en el pueblo bebiendo con sus amigos sábado por la noche. Él no regresa a su casa. Y María está en la casa sola. Ella está triste. Triste. Ella llora. Llora. I don't know if that's spelled right or not. Llorar. Let's see if I can find the right word. I don't want to teach you too bad. I want to make sure you at least get it kind of right. So, llora. Bueno, ella no está feliz. Está muy triste. Juan está en el pueblo. Now, domingo, you know your days of your week or not?
Sí.
Okay, domingo. Domingo. A las 5 en la tarde. A las 5 en la tarde. A las 5 en la tarde. Juan regresa a su casa. Entonces, María, toda la semana, la fin de semana, María, toda la fin, él. Ahora ya tengo la correctora que Carmen está. Todo el fin de la semana. Ella está triste, ella está en su casa sola, ella llora, no está feliz. Pero domingo a las 5 en la tarde, Juan regresa a su casa. Okay?
Sí.
Now, this is what's your you can, when you tell a story or something, all right, a story usually is told in the past tense. However, this one here, this part of the story, this first part of the paragraph, you are introducing your people, you know, that's in the story, who they are, where they come from, the situation, the condition, but it's in the present tense. Now, let me just ask you this. Explain to me in English what the present tense is.
The meaning of the present tense?
Yeah,
Or
what is the
or the
action?
story?
No, the action. What is an action in English? Like,
Okay, a verb.
it is a verb, but how? Tell me about the action of the present tense. Do you understand my question or no?
No.
Okay, I drank coffee. Drink is in what action? What time is that?
Past.
No, drank. I drank. Well, is I play tennis. Play. I play tennis.
Okay. Present.
Okay. All right. Explain. Play tennis. Play. It is an action that what?
It's
No,
I don't know.
it's not a trick question. All right, just a second. No, this is English because listen, English, Spanish, French, Italian, and even Portuguese or Romanian. Romanian. That's why Doug is doing so well in English. I mean, in Spanish. They're all in the same basic structure. You have like I will teach you like 16 macros. You know, where you have like control V, control P, I mean, your brain has, whenever it hears those macros, there's a section in there and it throws it off. It sounds stupid, but it really isn't. Anyway, the present tense. What is the present tense? I play tennis. I drink coffee. I go to town every Saturday. John goes to town on Saturday. Why is that in the present tense? Explain the present tense?
Something that's happening right now.
No, that's present progressive.
Okay.
See, I don't know who the person was that named this thing present, but that's what confuses so many people. Present tense is not present. It's something that we do, or that's a regular function that we do, a custom that we do on a regular basis. Like I drank coffee. I mean, it's something. Actually, the present progressive is something that I am teaching. I am teaching English at this very moment. You are studying. You are listening.
Right.
It's actually present progressive. That's the real present. But anyway, since this is a custom, this is something that Juan does every Saturday. That's why it is in the present tense. However, I should have probably explained that after you told your story. Your mind was already. Can you remember the story? Did
Yes.
Did I mess up the brain too much? I said, all right, well, just do it in your own words. I mean, you know, and we're not memorizing. We're not a parrot out there trying to just parrot something, you know. So it's just your mind has to try to travel and use your words to try to explain that idea of what's happening. That's what you're doing.
Okay. In Spanish or English?
This is a Spanish class.
Okay.
I think it may not be. I'm going to drink some coffee while you talk.
Juan, beben cerveza con sus amigos.
Well, start at the very beginning. Tell the whole story.
Okay.
So bring us up to where we're at right now. So.
Domingo, Juan va a un pueblo.
Va bien.
A las 3.
Es
en la
sábado,
tarde.
creo. Yeah, sábado en la tarde. Sábado.
Sábado en la tarde.
Sí.
Y Maria no va a pueblo. Maria es en su casa.
Muy bien.
Y Juan bebe cerveza con sus amigos y no recuerdo, no. I don't remember the word. He returns home.
Well, look for a way to say it.
Okay, Juan no va a su casa. Juan, Maria es triste.
Muy bien.
Y porque Juan no va a su casa.
Muy bien.
Domingo en la tarde, a las 5 de la tarde, va a su casa y that's all I remember.
Very good. Very good. Muy bien. All right. Now, whenever I want you to later on go back and look at this again. You know, it's a recording. We'll put it up there, and on where you sign in. You know, for the day for the lesson, the webmaster, he'll take it and he'll put it up, and then you can go back and you can see what we actually the class, this whole thing. But now, if you won't, you won't be able to see it. But when you see it again, I hope you can. You struggled kind of at the beginning, but the very last part, whenever you got in there, your mind started working in the language. Not very well, but I mean, it's struggling. And then you ran out of soap or something, and you couldn't find where you wanted to go, and so you stopped. So I mean, but that's that little piece, that little microsecond or 2 or 3 seconds in there when your mind was actually running really good and it was putting the things together. That's what you're looking for. Once your mind understands what you really want it to do, you have to train your mind. You have to make your mind do what you want it to do without obligating. It sounds like it's almost a separate person. It kind of is.
Right.
Because see, the mind, see, it's like the water. You know why is there so many crooks in a river? Why is a river so crooked? See, there's a very simple reason for that. And your mind is just like the river. It always seeks the least resistance. So water always seeks it's the linear of the least resistance. That's why wherever it goes, if it's easier to go that way, it goes that way, and it'll come right back this way because it's just a little bit easier to go that way. So the mind, you have to say, wait a minute, don't go there, stop. And then right now, at the very beginning, see, you're going to have to make the mind, let's say that we get into a conversation with 2 or 3 people here, Spanish people. And as long as you can kind of control the conversation and you know where you mind and what you're trying to say, and they can understand you, they will understand you. But as long as you're in that, you're fine. But then all of a sudden you turn it loose, and in a conversation it'll change and somebody else will pick it up and something else. I mean, it's, you know. And then if you're not careful, your mind will just drift off somewhere. Mm-hmm. You have to bring it back and make it without forcing it, because if you force it, it'll block itself. But bring it back, obligate it. No, you're here. Pay attention. And it will. It'll come in. It doesn't want to do it.
Right. No, it doesn't.
See, exactly. So, I mean, it's almost like a separate entity. But you have to say, no, you're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. Right. Sit down and do it.
Yes.
And don't force it, because if you force it, well, okay, I can't remember. And then it won't. So as long as you as long as you encourage it, I hate to even think about talking like it's in the third person, but you
It almost is. It feels
it's
that
really
way.
okay. Exactly. Until you are wanting to make the mind do what you want it to do, and you are in control and not the mind. You make the mind do what you want it to do. And that is just simply disciplining your mind. And that's actually sanctification too, by the way.
Amen.
You have to make the mind do what you want it to do. Because if you don't, it'll run wild on you. And whatever you put in, whatever you bring in there, it's gonna see. Anyway, okay. So you did very well, very well. All right. What time is it up there, by the way? How much time do I have?
Let's see. 7:39.
Okay. All right. All right. There's usually, you have a good base. You have already a good vocabulary base. What you have to do is your mind. You know what recall is? Recall is the ability for the mind at any given time to go up there and get a word that you need to paint your picture. See, I can't do that in English. I go up there and wow, I preach. I have to write all my sermons almost word out because I can't. My mind is in Spanish, and then I go up there, and by the time it gets kind of in English again, well, then I come back down here and screw it up again. But anyway, so I don't remember why I was telling you that in the first place. See, so that's what happens when your hair goes white. But anyway, this here is the way that I do. You just teach a story. It can be any story. Your mind has to start navigating over new terrains that it's never gone before. Have you ever heard this story before?
No.
Okay. So we are in the present tense, and now we're going to start in the past tense, because when you tell a story, there's a difference between the present and the past. One of the biggest problems is your verbs. You're going to have a problem with your verbs and the conjugation of your verbs and everything. But we're going to start, now we're going to talk about one specific weekend, okay? And that will be, I have 20 minutes left. So let me at least get you into to chapter 2 or 3, wherever we are in this great, fabulous story that we've got going on. All right, I know you can hardly wait to the next class to just hear where we're going to go. Okay, here we go. So let me get off of this thing here. Oh, yeah. All right, let me save this mess. Sketch 20. Is that the same one? Sketch 26. Did I add anything to it?
No, that's different.
This one
is 26 was different.
Oh, well, then let me change the number on this one. This is wanting to, let me put 27. All right. So this one here is kind of there. All right. It looks like, see, this here is what happens in your mind. When you start painting a picture, this is the way that I call this mental images. All right. When you tell a story, or you talk, or you are preaching, you're painting ideas in your listener. So you have to. I can do this in Spanish. I can't do it in English anymore. But you take that mind and you lead the mind in the direction that you want. So you have to be it's the sequence, You have to say who it is and what they're doing, and you have to bring them systematically to where they are. So in this one here, any story, you present who it is. All right, who are we talking? This is a story about, es una historia de María y Juan. Okay. ¿Qué pasa? What happened? All right, María y Juan están casados, están felices, se viven en una casa no viven en el pueblo, se viven en el campo. Pero ellos tienen un problema y el problema es que cada sábado a las 3 de la tarde Juan va al pueblo y ahí él permanece o él queda en el pueblo bebiendo con sus amigos. You didn't say that part. Entonces él bebe con sus amigos y queda allá en el pueblo, no regresa a su casa hasta domingo a las 5 en la tarde. Él regresa a su casa. Entonces, todo el fin de semana, María está en su casa, ella está sola, no está feliz, ella está muy triste y se llora mucho, llora. Pobrecita, ella sí está. All right, here we go. So let me give you, we've already, all right, so now, una fin de semana, okay? So aquí está María. All right. Ella está aquí está su casa, aquí está el pueblo, eso es una iglesia. Y aquí está Juan con sus amigos. Y ellos están tomando, bueno. All right. Él está en el pueblo. Aquí está María. Aquí es la carretera, el camino que se va. Entonces, un fin de semana, María estaba en su casa y ella decidió, she decided, a tomar un paseo. Entonces ella se camina. Aquí hay eso es un río. Un río. Y aquí eso es un puente. All right, now look what I'm going to have to do. All right, ella, where's my, all right, aquí está María. Ella se viene aquí, ¿sí? Tiene que cruzar la puente, ¿ok? Eso es un río. Ella cruza el río. El puente. Entonces, aquí está ella ahora. Y aquí hay otra casa. Y esta casa es casa de Tam. Eso es Tomás. Tomás vive en esta casa. Tomás es un amigo viejo de María. Ok. So aquí viene María. Y María viene a visitar a Tomás. María she went para, es un R, para visitar a Tomás. Tomás es un amigo viejo de María. Y María contó, see, mire, this is the past tense. We stick a little tilde on the very last one. So, María contó Tomás acerca de su problema. ¿Sí entiende? Do you understand?
Sí.
Okay. So María viene y María contó, she told Tomás acerca de su problema. Y Tomás dijo, voy a ponerlo aquí, bueno, María, queda aquí. Queda aquí conmigo. All right, queda is to stay here with me. Stay here with me. Queda aquí conmigo. Miramos. Miramos is to look. We will watch or we will look at TV. Jugamos cartas. We'll play. We will play cards. Now, entonces, Juan recuerda. Recuerda is to remember. Recuerda, Juan está en el pueblo tomando cerveza con sus amigos. María decidió es esta palabra aquí. María decidió a visitar a Tomás. So let's get kind of an order. So ella se fue a visitar a Tomás. Él es un amigo de María. Entonces, María bajó a la puente, cruzó el río y fue a visitar a Tomás. Y María contó a Tomás acerca de su problema. Y Tomás dijo, bueno, María, queda aquí conmigo, está bien, no hay problema. It's not a problem, stay here. Está bien, queda aquí conmigo. Miramos televisión o jugamos cartas, está bien, queda aquí. Yo soy su amigo, permanece aquí. Entonces, all right, entonces is a good word. You need to get it in your vocabulary. That's so. Entonces, María quedó, that's Q, I hope I spell this one right. Okay. Quedó con, say it working right, con Tomás sábado por la noche. Now here's the important part. Pero, remember that's but. Pero María regresó a la casa antes. Now here's where you got to make sure you get this right. María regresó a la casa, su casa, antes que Juan regresó. Estaba domingo por la noche, ¿no? This is domingo. Entonces, él, antes que Juan regresó a las 5. Entonces, cuando llegó Juan a la casa, María ya estaba en la casa. Okay?
Okay.
All right. You want to try your luck at it?
Sure.
All right. Here we go. Bum, 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 ba. Okay. Actually, you're doing really good. I'm really proud of you.
Uh,
So, let me get all right.
okay. So Juan, recuerdo a la palabra, no, pueblo,
Yeah.
Con sus amigos.
All right, just a second. Now remember, I try to be objective on this. I try to pretend, or as a teacher, I try to be like a gringo that's listening to this story for the very first time, and I don't know what you're see. It's hard for me to do that, but I try to, as though that you were telling me this story for the first time, and I don't know the story. You have to try to make me understand, and that's the way I try to evaluate what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
You don't have to be perfect, because you're not going to be perfect. There's no way you can be perfect just starting off the bat. But you're going to get there one of these days when we get to heaven. But I mean, it might take a while. Okay, go ahead.
Amen. Okay, so Juan, entonces Juan va a la pueblo.
Good.
Pueblo
Yeah.
Con sus amigos. Bebemos cerveza. En la fin de semana. Y María tiene un problema y se fue.
Va bien. Wait. Careful there. Don't block it. Don't block the line.
Well, se fue a la Rio y
or try to look as in your mind of what's happening. See, so María está en su casa y ella va al río, va a cruzar el río.
A cruzar el río a su amigo.
Good.
Thomas. Y
okay.
I'm just running into some roadblocks with some of the vocabulary.
Well, but see, these are new words. Probably it's that you've never seen them or heard them.
Yeah, some of these are for the first time.
See, but but it's just like, all right. It's just like when you meet a person for the very first time. All right, you meet them under certain situations or circumstances. I know people all over the place, but I know them usually as a teacher, student, and I've taught people or things throughout the years. And so I'll be somewhere else completely. And this, hi, Jim, how you doing? And I know that person, but I can't. Who is this person? Where do I know him? Words are the same way. So you don't memorize, but the mind remembers that it has seen it or it's something. It's up here. It's just floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go in and get it because you can't really remember it yet because it's really not yours yet. But it's up there. So don't worry about it. But if it doesn't come out and you need to, if you need to say something to explain an idea, you have to find some way to say it.
Right.
Okay, so all right. You want to start again?
Okay, so Maria habla con Thomas acerca de su problema
Muy bien.
y Thomas um,
What did he say? ¿Qué dijo él? Well, busca la forma.
queda
Very good.
conmigo,
Yeah.
Y jugamos cartas
Yeah.
o
Sí. Just use the word.
no veo.
Well, that's está bien. It's okay. It's not exactly, but it'll work.
Veo televisión.
All right. See, good.
Y María queda con él.
Muy bien.
Y domingo, María regreso
Muy bien. Regresó.
A su casa
Muy bien.
antes de Juan. Y Juan regresó a su casa.
Después, yeah. Very good.
En la noche.
See, all right. Por ejemplo, Juan sabía. Did he know? Juan sabía que ella había visitado. See, now that's that he had. See, that was conditional. But see, there's all kinds of things that if you could say this story in English, you have all of the vocabulary, all of the ability to do it. You don't have that. You're just like a little kid or a baby. You're starting off in the language. So you have to learn to use what you have to express your idea. It's frustrating because you want to say something and you can't. But see, those things that your mind needs to say what you want it to say, to express your idea, are the words that you need to put in your vocabulary. Because it's not just learning the vocabulary. So that's what a lot of teachers, I think, make a mistake. They sit you down and they make you learn these vocabulary or learn this dialogue. And what happens, you get up to buy a ticket at this ticket counter at the airport, and that person didn't learn the dialogue that you memorized.
Right.
See? And you have to say what you want to say somehow to make that person understand what you want to see. So that's what we're trying to get at. And you're not going to have the vocabulary, and you're going to need that. You need the verbs, you need the adjectives, you need the adjectives just put the clothes on and the colors to the things. But, so just don't get frustrated, stay with it. But what I need you to do now, because I think we're out of time, what you need to do is you need to go back and do not memorize what we've done. Don't write it out. You don't want that. You don't want to memorize. I've told this story thousands of times or hundreds of times. I don't know. But I don't have it memorized word by word, like this. It's not written in stone. I have the idea. I know the idea, and I tell the idea, and I use my words to explain that idea. You can't use my words. You have to use your own words to explain the idea. It's just like the Little Red Riding, Little Red, what is it in English? Little Red Riding Hood, Riding Hood.
Yes.
Something like that. My brain doesn't work very well either. At any rate, if we both know the story, But if I tell the story, I'll tell it my way using my vocabulary. If you tell the story, you'll tell the same story, but you will paint that story using your ability to use adjectives and descriptives and things. You know, some of these preachers, wow, they get up and they just make your teeth hang out whenever they just, I can't do that. I wish I could, but I can't. But I'm good at other things, you know. So you do what you can do, and some people just have to suffer for whatever, suffer through, you know, whatever I do. But at the end of the day, I get something done.
Amen.
Okay. All right, but you need to try to tell the story. It's going to be fresh in your mind. Try to go back whenever we finish, and just think about the story, and try to start from the beginning, and you know, and try to get a flow, a sequence, and don't force the mind. And then tomorrow we have I have Monday, Tuesday, and I don't know, are you able on Thursday? I think you had classes on Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday I teach a Bible class.
What time are you on for that?
6:30.
Okay. Well, listen, do you work at anything now other than just what you're doing?
No.
We can, right now you're my only class. So I mean, I don't know. I don't mind teaching you. We can take this at another time period. I'll just have to tell the webmaster that, you know, that we're going to do this. This is actually our class out of the Bible. I mean, out of Westwood. We're using their platform, but this is my platform at Lamb that not mine, but I mean, you know, that we use for teaching our Spanish students the Bible. So, think about when we could do it on Tuesday. I'm wondering about if Ronnie didn't sign in, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So see, now tomorrow he will be behind because you're already moving in the right direction, and you did very well. I'm really very proud of you. I didn't know where you were until now. I know pretty well where you are. I think we'll start trying to pack all of the words into that one place where you can go and get it and use your recall. So that's just, don't force the mind yet until we can get a chance to start putting it together. Okay. Just trust me on that. And I know you don't think I really know what I'm doing, but on that one, I pretty well do.
No, if I didn't think you knew what you were doing, I wouldn't be here. Okay. I wouldn't be doing this. So.
All right, God bless. Well, you're gonna feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, but there's no other way than just.
Well, that's what I need. I need to get over that and just try. So.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it'll happen. All right. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow at. I'll be on at the same time, I guess your time. That'll be 5:30 your time. Okay. So.
Okay.
How do I?
Same time tomorrow.
Same time. Yes. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.